What is up, Rangers fans? This is Puck Rock Rangers. I'm Stefan, and this is Palmer. Let's get into this. Alrighty, what a boring couple of weeks. Not a lot going on recently. It is the dead still of the off season, and I cannot wait for hockey to come back. We got a good one for you guys today. We got a few things we want to talk about, but before we get into any of that, we're just going to kind of check in and let you know what's been going on. So, Palmer, what you been going on, or what's been going on with you lately, man?
Just living life, same old stuff. Work, playing music. My wife and I just celebrated our 5th anniversary. So, love you, honey. And
So, yeah, that means you came back to work with a refreshed, re-energized hatred for your job.
Yeah, every time you come back, piles of shit everywhere, things on fire. I'm fortunate I work for a good company. They took care of me while I was gone, but came back, went right back to work, right back to band practice, right back to doing this. So I just kind of hit the ground running, and yeah, just happy to be here and talk some shit about our favorite team.
That's right. So recently, I've been swamped at work. It's a blessing and a curse. Jesus Christ.
Cut this.
Cut. I'll call you back later.
Speak of the
Stop
devil.
it. Hold on. All right. Sorry about that. What?
Who's have to cut all that?
No, I'm not going to cut any of that shit out. People, this is real, authentic Rangers fans. The life of real, authentic Rangers fans. Anyway, yeah, I've been really busy at work. It's been a blessing and a curse. Kids, they're growing up fast, driving me crazy, but it's always a joy to see as well, except for when I don't get to sleep through the night. That gets kind of annoying. But all in all, not a whole lot been going on. Just been kind of twiddling my thumbs, kicking the can around, waiting for this season to come back, which can't happen soon enough. So other than that, nothing really going on. We do want to talk about something that we feel we may have slighted a little bit in one of our previous episodes. Episode 2, we talked about the HT40 shoulder check game, and we didn't really give you guys we didn't give you that greatly of a detailed. We didn't detail what that game was really about for you guys. Sorry, I'm having word salad today, but yeah, we kind of want to take a second to give you guys, like, basically just tell you actually what the game is about, what the charity is about, and what they're trying to prevent happening in the future. So, mental health.
Yeah, it's mental health. So I'll just give you a little background. The HT40, HT stands for Hayden Thorson. Hayden, and 40 was his number. He was a youth goalie. At 16 took his own life back in May of 2022. Very tragic, shook the community. He's a Connecticut kid. And then so the community put something together, the HT40 Foundation, and they have a hockey game. And this year they did the 2nd annual. So there was one last year, did it again this summer. And that was back in July. And yeah, we covered it, but we acted almost like everyone watched it with us, and we just kind of rolled right into it. So we wanted to better describe what it is and tell a little more about Hayden Thorson. And John Chick did a great job on Locked On Rangers, covering the game. He was there because he lives there in Connecticut. So he went to the game, covered it. That was episode 1120 of Locked On Rangers. If you want to check that out and get a lot more information than we can give you. But the shoulder check game, it had NHLers, PWHLers, AHL celebrities. It was just a fun, lighthearted game. To raise money, raise awareness, and the whole thought behind it was just to, they play on shoulder check on people, reach out.
Mm-hmm.
You never know what someone's dealing with. So hockey culture has gotten better, but it's historically had a culture of just being tough and getting through it. So this is kind of getting away from that, and yeah, we just wanted to paint the picture a little better, and we're gonna link the YouTube video to the whole game And if you haven't watched it, it was a lot of fun. A lot of Rangers, a lot of NHLers in there. A lot of fun to be had. So yeah, definitely check that out.
Yep, I think they're saying is what is it? Check in, reach out, check in,
reach out, check in,
reach out, check in. So yeah, it's basically the big picture is you never know what somebody's actually going through on the inside. You know, you might see them smiling all the time, but in the inside they could be very, very sad. So basically it's telling you don't just take the outside for what it is. Reach out, check in with your friends, your loved ones, the people you care about, and ask them and make sure that they're actually doing okay. They're just doing their part to try to grapple the mental health awareness aspect or epidemic or whatever it is that's going on in this country. I know there's a lot of sadness, so they're doing their part, and it's good to see. So
yeah, it was a fun event. I definitely encourage you to watch it. And yeah, we wanted to better describe it. So that's that. We just wanted to get that out of the way at the top of the show. We'll get right back into best moments because I think we're ready to do that. So there was a lot of great moments last season. If you want to go regular season, including the playoffs, I mean, it was really a magical run. It, kind of had a shitty ending. We all know that, but really was a lot to celebrate. So I picked two moments that kind of stood out to me, and both of my moments are almost like a series of moments. So I try to paint the picture without rambling on too long. But one, and like I said, it's a series of moments. I think we should celebrate those third jerseys. I'm not a huge navy or dark blue, whatever they were. When I first saw them, I wasn't crazy about them, but seeing the boys in them on the ice, they looked pretty sharp. And I was looking up because I remember they had a good record with those jerseys, but I actually looked up. They were 9-1 with those jerseys, and I'm trying to remember my notes here, but it was one of those included a shutout, and the other one was a shootout win over Florida. And not to mention Fight Night was done in those jerseys, and that actually takes me over to my second moment of the season, which was Fight Night. We're all Ranger fans. We all remember, the 5-on-5 brawl. And I was looking back. I actually watched a couple videos to kind of reminisce and go back on like what happened and what kind of set the stage for this. And it was, back in February, Rempe was penalized for a high hit on Bastion.
Rempe.
Siegenthaler comes in, and I don't know what the hell he was thinking. Tries to grab Rempe. Rempe gives him a couple fours.
You see Bastion, he's kind of bent over, and there he hit him. He hit him right in the head with his shoulder. Yeah. It was a straight headshot with the shoulder, and then Siegenthaler goes after him,
and takes care of that. Almost a couple within the week, a couple days later, the Devils go out and get a heavyweight Curtis McDermott. And one thing that stood out to me about McDermott, I'm not sure if you remember this, but he was an Avalanche a couple seasons ago. The Avalanche and Rangers were playing, and McDermott tuned Revo up pretty good. I'm not gonna say he kicked his ass, he didn't knock him out, but he tuned him up pretty good and definitely got the decision. So he's a tough character. So a couple weeks later, the next meeting in New York, this was in March. We all remember the Rempe elbow to Siegenthaler.
For Matt Rempe, whether you didn't agree with the first one, I think you're going to agree.
The picture was great.
This time around, yeah. Yeah.
punches were thrown. Right now, Bastion is in tough shape.
Well, that was Bastion. Bastion was all.
Oh yeah,
dopey.
yeah. Bastion was. Well, Siegenthaler too. That Bastion picture.
Siegs wasn't in great shape either. But so McDermott's there for this game. McDermott tries to go after him. We all remember the Rempe wave.
Now Rempe is just waving at McDermott after he had the
waving goodbye. They both get misconducts and go on, and the stage is set for the April 3rd meeting at MSG. Fight Night 5-on-5 brawls. What stands out to me was obviously the main event, Rempe versus McDermott, and my boy Keandre dummying was it John Marino, or whatever his name is.
He did the taunt.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He
which I was actually highly offended because I'm a short king. So
we are short kings.
So
you can't
when
tell
he
by
did
the
that,
scenery.
I was just like, what a piece of crap. But I still wanted him to win. So
yeah, that was pretty sweet. So those were my 2 moments. What do you have?
I mean,
season?
I just want to touch on that a little bit more. Like, for the Devils fans, like, imagine your team being so wimpy that you have to go out and pick up one of the toughest guys in the league because one player on another team has just got into you guys' heads that bad.
Mid-season like that. Like, the Rangers toughened up a couple years ago, but that was like an overhaul over the offseason. They went out and got like the biggest, baddest guy they could right away. Like, they tried to fix their Rempe problem.
Then did McDermott re-sign with them?
Yeah. Oh,
so
the Devils, I don't know the exact numbers. I'd have to look this up. Shame on me. But those bozos signed him for like 3 years or something. Multi-year contract. They didn't need to do that.
They're foreseeing the future of Rempe. So.
Yeah, they're trying to take care of their Rempe problem.
They said, we can't stand for this guy dummying our whole team every night. So let's go get somebody who can turn things around a little bit and not make us look like such wimps. Anyway, yeah. I have to say one of probably my top favorite moment this past season was the Winter Classic game, and everybody laughed at this bozo because he didn't watch it. He had to try to catch up later on and stuff like that. But like, for a game as hype as that was, you had to be there to feel the actual hypeness of it, or like you had to be like watch a live type deal to understand just how like hype it was. So playing division rivals, the Islanders, the Ashlanders, whatever you call them, they get off to a good start and they're scoring on us at a pretty decent rate. I think at one point in time the score was 4-1, so they had 3 goals on us. Come the third period, we score a goal, we score another goal, and then Mika Zibanejad, with like a minute and change left, scores a third goal to tie it up and send it into overtime.
Mika Magic, remember that?
Yeah, Mika Magic, and it's like when you need him to come in clutch and he does like that, it lets you know that like he may have had some slumps in the season, but like he's here to play. He's a gamer. He's an all-star. So that was like probably one of the hypest moments. And then what do? We go into overtime. Panarin does this like crazy forecheck where he's like barely even forechecking, but dude tries a wet noodle saucer pass. Panarin, Breadman, picks it out of the midair, drops it, and then gets it right into the goal. And even that was like an intense moment because they didn't say, oh, goal, goal, goal. Their own players knocked the net off of the rungs, or is it rungs? Rings? Rungs?
Yeah.
Whatever it is. So yeah, their own teammates knocked the net off, so they had to send it into the review. And when the referee called it a good goal, game over, that place went bonkers.
Yeah.
So I mean, imagine this. Them stadiums are quite a bit larger than the arenas that they usually play in, and this place was completely sold out. And on top of that, it was probably an 80% to 20% Rangers Islanders fan ratio. So it was almost all Rangers fans there. The place went nuts, and it's moments like that which make you just love the sport of hockey. I'm gonna take it back a couple months earlier. Everybody remembers in January, the Rangers had, they weren't playing too great. They had a little bit of a lull in the season. For pretty much the whole month of January, Igor wasn't looking too great. Nothing about the team was looking that great. And then coming into February, they played the Senators, and they called up Connor Mackey. Okay. They called up Mr. Mackey. And what I like to say was pretty much the equivalent of the Jacob Trouba helmet throw. Mackey fought Brady Tkachuk, and I'm not going to say whether he won or lost. It seemed somewhat of an even fight.
It was a good tilt.
He stepped up. He threw down with Brady Tkachuk, and at that very moment, it seemed like things just instantly turned around for the Rangers. So that was a huge moment of the season for me as well. And anything else? Do you have any other moments that kind of stand out, or like honorable mentions or anything?
There was a lot of things. I'm not going to give an honorable mention. I'll just say that in terms of the winter or the Stadium Series game, I did miss it. I chose to go to band practice like a dummy for a band that I'm not in anymore. So kind of a bad call. and missed the, not only an incredible game, incredible overtime, but missed the Rempe introduction.
Mm-hmm.
All of my memories of that game live on through YouTube. And just the last thing I'll say on that game, just to throw some shade at the Islanders, what were they thinking with those jerseys, man? Those jerseys looked like they were sponsored by like a tire shop or something. I mean, they were just awful. So yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. And then the Connor Mackey, okay, that fight, yeah, that really turned things around. Igor and the boys were struggling, and that seemed to turn shit around. So,
do you ever think that the jersey, the Devils jerseys look like Jersey Mike's, the same font from the Jersey Mike's logo, the sub shop Jersey Mike's? It just says Jersey written in cursive across it. I mean, I like the black in the jersey, but I don't know, not a fan, really. It just reminds me of the sandwich shop, so I just want to throw that in there.
Maybe that's who's sponsoring them.
Oh, yeah, Jersey Mike's sponsoring New Jersey Devils. That's what's up.
So, we've all heard the news.
Yeah.
That not only is Rempe hard at work with George Laraque, we've covered that a little bit, but he is also, we're hearing that he's training, working on his game with Kreider, but maybe more interestingly and more fun to think about is he's staying with the Quick family. Jonathan Quick and his wonderful wife have taken Rempe in, and it made me start thinking of, as someone who has had roommates that didn't work out, as someone who's been that person myself, it made me start thinking of what life with a 6'8", 21-year-old behemoth would be like. So I thought we'd paint a couple pictures, go through some scenarios. I guarantee he finishes the cereal, puts the box back in the cupboard, and then maybe leaves like a sip of milk left in the fridge, like not enough to do anything with, but it's still technically in there.
Yeah, Jonathan Quick's going to fill up his cereal. He pours a huge bowl of cereal, and then he goes to get the milk. It's
no
like
milk.
One little drop. Bloop, bloop. Yeah, for sure. I imagine maybe. Do you think he asked him for rides? Do you think he's like, hey, John, would you take me to the skating rink? Like, you think he's asking him for rides and stuff?
I would say so, and I could picture like when he's in the car, you got Johnny up front driving, the wife riding, and and he's kicking the seat with his knees. Are we there yet?
Kneading it like dough with his knees. Good stuff.
There's like size like 14 or 15 tracks all over their kitchen floor that Mrs. Quick just got cleaned up.
You think that they sit him down to go over the rules? They're like, we gotta have a talk, young man. And they bring him in there, and they're like, look, man, if you're gonna be living here, you gotta pull your weight, like stuff like that.
Probably. Hopefully he's making some allowance because he's not making a lot with the Rangers quite yet. But I just thought that was a funny situation. Just wanted to kind of go over some ideas. If you have some ideas of what living with Rempe would be like, we'd love to hear them in the comments, or send us a message. We'll read your living with Rempe's or living with Rempe ideas.
That's gotta be funny. It's definitely a unique. It's gotta be a unique situation, just because Jonathan Quick, he's in the latter part of his career, he's been there, done that.
Oh yeah.
He's settled down with a wife, kids, all that good stuff. So having like a guy like Rempe just come in and steal your piece must be exciting, or at least unique in some sort of ways. I'd love to be a fly in the wall. And see what goes on in that household.
Yeah, I mean, it's like having a huge child, like almost like baby Huey is what it makes me think of.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, on Jonathan Quick, it's like that's a selfless act. Like he's a team first type guy.
Yes,
I mean,
we're gonna start calling him Daddy Quick.
Yeah, Pappy.
Pappy, I like Poppy Quick.
Poppy Quick.
Poppy Quick, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I mean that's a selfless act. You're gonna bring this guy into your house, and for the sake of the team, so he can stay around and train with Chris Kreider. And I want to talk about that a little bit. Like,
real quick, you think Quickie's charging him, or you think he's living Remp free?
Remp free. I don't know. He's definitely not gonna have empty pockets. But yeah, I want to talk a little bit about the training with Chris Kreider, because Chris Kreider, now that Joe Pavelski has retired. Chris Kreider is easily the top tipping guy in the league. You know, I'd argue he's probably one of the top net front guys in the entire league. Rempe is definitely a net front guy. Every goal that usually happens when he's on the ice is because he's right there in front of the net. I'm actually curious to see what he learns, because Chris Kreider, he's a seasoned veteran at this point.
Here's the extent of Kreider's training with Rempe. Hey Rempe, park your big ass in front of the crease. Don't interfere with the goalie, and let the puck bounce off your stick.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's it. And fight when warranted, but pick your moments. I think that's the training.
Yeah, he says try to see if I can move you, but you don't want to try. It's like when what do they say, when an unstoppable force
meets an unmovable object.
So they told him to try that in front of the net and see what happens. I'm sure he's learning some things, because he's not a skilled player. He's not a skill guy. So Kreider is definitely a skill. He's a surgeon in front of the net. So I'll be excited to see some of the things he learns coming into this next season. So you said you got a garbage pail or some things you want to go over.
Yeah. A couple last things we'll rattle off. We're gonna call this the off-season garbage pail. I mean, it's late August. We're all waiting for hockey to start, and there's some news here and there, but not a whole lot. This kind of rides along with the Sam Rosen news. A lot of changes coming for the Rangers, not only on the guys on the ice or with the guys on the ice, but with the guys behind the scenes too. And a longtime goalie coach, Benoit Allaire, is going to step down, not completely, he's stepping down as coach into a role director of goaltending. So he's still going to be around. And his, partner or colleague, Jeff Malcolm, is going to take up the spot. I don't have a ton to say. I really don't know much about these guys. I know Benoit Allaire has done great work, but don't need to spend a lot of time with that. Just figure I would touch on it.
Well, I heard in Locked On with John Chick, I heard him say that Benoit Allaire is pretty much the only coach on the team who's been around for all these years when all these other coaching staffs have kind of cycled in and out.
Yeah.
He was there with Lundqvist.
I think it's been six coaches since Allaire took over, and someone can correct me on that. But I think he was around since the Tom Rennie days, and that was Tom Rennie, Torts, AV, Pretty Boy,
Quinn?
What was his name? Quinny, Bozo, Gallant, and now Nixon.
Nixon, I like that.
But yeah, that's it there. Anything else to say about the goalie situation?
No, I mean, I'm somewhat confident because, like you said, he is kind of staying within the organization. I see it kind of like him being the coach of the coach, like the goalie coach's goalie coach.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I'm okay with it. I mean, if it was any other team and their goalie coach was leaving, it wouldn't be like, oh my, so it's not a huge deal for me, honestly. So another thing I saw over the week, I think it's actually a week or so now, but a couple episodes on Morning Cup of Hockey with Johnny Lazarus and Colby Cohen. They had a long interview with Tony DeAngelo, ex-Ranger, very polarizing Ranger, polarizing player in general. And they covered a lot. They kind of covered his career comings and goings with different teams. At this point, he's kind of becoming a little bit of a journeyman. He covered more in depth kind of what happened with the Rangers, more specifically what happened between him and Georgie. We all kind of knew, but it was cool to hear from him. And he just kind of cleared the air. My overall take, and I'll just lay this out and then we can get into more, is, he kind of cleared the air on some things, changed my perception of him a little bit. I would move him from he's still a giant douche, but I would say that's down from a colossal douche. So, he improved his image a little bit in my eyes, but just what do you think, Steph?
Interviews like that, they kind of bring you back to earth and remind you that these guys are people too at the end of the day. We don't really see what a lot of them got going on in their day-to-day life, but you see a player like him, like Brad Marchand, like just people that just you see him and you're just like, oh, I can't stand that guy. What a piece of crap, whatever. But at the end of the day, you look further into it and you realize they're really not bad people. They just have a role in the league and adhere to that. And kudos to him. He took full accountability. He said pretty much all of it was his own fault. He said it was a heat of the moment thing that he said, and he said he probably would have reacted the exact same way had somebody told him what he had said. So yeah, he took accountability, and that's a good thing. So the guy's a human. He admitted to his wrongdoing, and I'm not gonna like him anymore when he's on the ice. But when he's off the ice, he seems like a pretty reasonable type of person.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we, a lot of us played hockey. Stefan and I did. It's an emotional game.
Very.
I can remember dust-ups with teammates, with friends, with people you get along with. Sometimes shit goes there. So yeah, he didn't blame Georgie. He cleared the air on the Keandre Miller thing, which was absolute bullshit. I don't believe that for a second that he stole Keandre's first puck. Doesn't seem like that kind of guy to me. So yeah, and if you haven't watched that interview, check it out. Yeah, they did a great job and really got a lot of information out of Tony D.
Yeah, shit like that makes me mad at the press a lot, though. Like, who came up with a story so outlandish and untrue just to kind of start up some drama? Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I'll give you another one. Earlier this season, the whole Jacob Trouba thing. Like, had some reporter not opened his mouth,
Larry Brooks
had not opened his mouth, spilled the beans prematurely, we might have, things probably would have went a whole lot different, but they didn't. I guess he was trying to be a good reporter or something, but it backfired on him, and now, as a result, there was a whole lot of drama, so I don't know. I guess it's whatever, but
you just got to be careful with media. Anything involving with sports media, sports opinions, people weighing in on things they don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
The media is the worst.
Yeah, because we know we're not those guys.
We don't spread false narratives. We just come off of hot takes and do the research after.
Exactly.
But one more thing in the garbage pail, and then I think we can probably wrap this thing up. And this, I don't think Stefan's gonna have an opinion on this.
I got nothing.
With the football season right around the corner, I know there's probably a lot of crossover between Giants and Ranger fans. I'm certainly a Ranger fan first, but I do like the Giants. And I couldn't help but make the comparison. I was listening to someone, I don't remember who, but they were talking about Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones, if you're not a Giants fan or you're not a football fan, he was a Giants draft pick. He's been injured. He's played like shit. He's played okay. They paid him a big contract based off of what he did and what he could be, and it's not working out. And it's kind of similar to Trouba. He's a leader. They brought him in, paid him more than he's worth. He's not living up to it, and everyone wants him out of town. So Giants fans and Ranger fans are kind of in the same boat with both these guys. Neither were picks of both teams' current GMs, which is interesting. So neither one are really like the apple of like Drury didn't bring in Trouba. That was done before he came here.
Yep.
Joe Shane did not draft Daniel Jones. And both those guys, Troubs and Jones, they both seem like good guys, but that and $5 will get you a cup of coffee. So I just wanted to point that out. Like, there's the Rangers are a better team. The Giants are just dog shit right now, but there's a lot of similarities between those two. Just thought it was a fun comparison, and I don't expect to see either one back after this season. And I'm a Trouba fan somewhat, but just talking real.
I don't really have anything to add to that because I'm not really too big of not really the biggest sports guy, just hockey. But I will say that the only thing remotely close to anything relatable with the New York Giants that I can say is that Victor Cruz had the best touchdown celly with the salsa dance. So
that was sweet. Yeah.
I do remember that, but I don't remember much. So
the good old days.
Yeah, Cruz was awesome. So, You want to talk a little bit about some scumbag teams that we just can't stand, just for a minute before we go or whatever?
Yeah, we can go in and I'll kick it off. The Rangers open their season on the road against one of the not one of them, the scumbag team, the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Oh, I cannot stand them.
Can't stand them. You know, it's not even like a Crosby thing anymore. Like, I've gotten over my childish hate of Crosby, and I can appreciate what he's done. But just that team, man, just they have a knack for picking up douchebags, and I don't know, can't stand them. What do you got?
That you stole mine. Like I out of all 32 teams, the Penguins are my least favorite. I don't know. I just see them as like, even the name, like a penguin. Penguin's not tough. Like, okay, I don't know. I can't stand the Penguins. Anything about them. If I had to pick another one, and you know it's crazy. I might catch some shit for this, but the Devils are supposed to be a huge rivalry. I don't really hate the Devils that much. I mean, I don't like the Devils, but I don't hate them as much as like a lot of other fans hate them. I dislike the Islanders way more than I dislike the Devils.
See, and I do hate the Islanders, but I don't have the burning hate that I do for the Devils, for the Islanders. And I think part of the reason for that is, you know, growing up, I had to watch the Devils rattle off 2 or 3 chips, and just, you know, Marty Brodeur was a douchebag. You know, Scott Stevens didn't like him. Was never a Patrick Elias fan. Hated Ilya Kovalchuk. So yeah, I've never, and it sucks because like I like their jerseys. There's things I like about the culture maybe, or they seem like a fun team.
They have punk rock shows at their arena.
Yeah, they have some, you know, but besides that, just I can't ever seem to root for them.
You got anyone else that you just makes your skin curl?
Those are pretty much, you know, a lot of my beefs or my rivals with hockey is kind of player based, and it kind of comes and goes. I mean, there's been times I hate the Caps. Right now I don't hate the Caps so much.
I do, just because we're in Virginia and everybody else out here likes to stroke off the Capitals and Ovechkin. And
with people out here, I always ask,
like, you go on.
I always ask Caps fans, are you a Caps fan or are you a hockey fan? And there's some crossover. I mean, there's some true blue Caps fans, but there's a lot of just dick riding Caps fans out there.
Yeah, I can't stand them.
But I think that's it for me this week. I don't know if you have anything else. We don't have a music guest. We're gonna work on some more of that. Hope you guys enjoyed Banana Slamma last week. If you did, or last episode, if you didn't, check that out. Watch that episode. At least stick around to the end and see them. They're really funny, and appreciate them doing that for us.
Yeah. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. We're still asking everybody to give us Ranger or just NHL doppelgangers, players who you think look like other players, or crushes, like just a player that you think is just such a handsome bastard. And yeah, so go ahead and comment those or email them to us or whatever. Just get them to us however you want. We'll give you a little shout out. Other than that, give us a follow on Instagram as well. And you could watch this or listen on Spotify or YouTube. So other than that, I don't really have anything else. Do you?
Nope, that's it.
Any last words? Forever
Nope.
hold your peace.
Till next time.
All right, take care, guys.
Thank you.